will know there is a new Porsche 911 GT3. This is it. The significant thing, the big headline thing, it is now available with a manual gearbox. This isn't it. Reason is, Porsche is starting deliveries of the PDK, Doppelkupplung, dual clutch, auto before it starts manual deliveries. And of course we want to bring you a first drive as soon as we can, so you've got an auto. Sorry about that. This is the new 4-litre engine. And it revs to 9,000. What a noise. What a noise than a naturally aspirated motor like this can really make. Oh, short of turbos, just letting it rev and rev and rev. God, what a thing. What a thing. So I've done one lap at reasonable speed. Already, I can tell you, this car is absolutely wonderful. The steering has been tweaked. If it is not the best electrically assisted system on the planet, then it is damn close to it. There is so much genuine road feel through it. It is the right sort of speed. It's perfectly weighted. It tells me exactly what the fronts are up to. Tiny bit of understeer on the way in. 500 horsepower to unstick the rears on the way out. Oh, this is just one of those cars. Oh, what a machine. Body control is so tight. I've got the dampers, I'll admit, in their firmer setting because we're on a circuit. Porsche says that it is not just better on the track, it is also slightly more comfortable on the road for reasons I'll go into in a minute. God, it is wonderful. There is everything that's good about a 911 in this car. They just make them better and better and better. The best 911 I've driven in a very, very long time. And I'll tell you what, I think this takes a lot of what was really great about the 911R and puts it into a slightly higher selling, lower priced version. God's sake, I mean, you can change up gear mid-slide. How ridiculous is that? Oh, God, it's so good. The steering's just so good. Does that 911 thing where the front and the rear feel like they've got sort of slightly different weights because the weighting is so different front to back. The suspension feels slightly different front to rear, but so actually if you're on throttle on the way into a corner, which obviously you shouldn't be, but I'm confident, so sometimes I am, you do get a little bit of nosy push on understeer, but if you get the nose settled, it's just utterly wonderful. Oh God, it's good. God, it's good. Spring is here. The sun is out. In North Wales on a terrific circuit, and if you said to me, right, you can pick one car in the world to come round here, it's not a lot you pick before you said, you know what, I think I'll have the latest 911 GT3 please. Oh, it's just so perfect. So what I will do is just outline all of those changes to it, because on the face of it, it doesn't look that different from the outside, does it? But there's loads that's gone on underneath, but I can't talk you through it while I'm doing this because it's just too exciting. Okay, so it looks on the outside like a GT3 because that's the way Porsche does things. It does not make massive changes. It makes lots and lots of little detail changes, and there are a lot of detail changes. I think the easiest way is if I just run you through them from back to front. So we'll start at the back. There is a new material for the rear bumper. It's about 1 kilogram lighter. It's the same at the front actually, which is nice because it brings the weight closer to the middle, which is a good thing. This new spoiler is exactly the same as the old spoiler, only moved back by 20mm, up by 10mm, and combined with some underfloor spoilerage, increases downforce by 20% over the old GT3, but doesn't increase the drag coefficient at all. What you cannot see, because this is a 911, is the engine, but you can see it's a 4 litre. Now, Porsche's GT boss, Andreas Preuninger, says that is the biggest change over anything about this car. But it is not the 4 litre from the 911R, and it is not the 4 litre from the GT3 RS. It is, effectively, the 4 litre from the 911 Cup car. So the changes are, it has a stiffer crankshaft, still a dual mass flywheel, and it has no longer hydraulic valve adjusters. That means that the pressure of the oil can be lower, which means the engine spins more easily and it revs to 9,000 RPM, which is excellent. Right, at the side, there are the same wheels as before. This one is on Porsche carbon ceramics, and Andreas Preuninger says, if you do a lot of work on the road, you should have them because they are lighter. However, if you do a lot of track work, you should stick with the steel rotors because they'll wear out and it's cheaper that way. Inside, there are not a huge amount of changes. It's got this new infotainment system. You probably don't care if you're on a circuit. And it always sounds a bit like you've left a window open. The reason for that is that the shell is a little bit stiffer and it's got some bits welded in it really, which makes it heavier to meet crash regulations in certain markets. Therefore, they've taken out some soundproofing, so it weighs exactly the same 1,430 kilograms as before. 1,420 as a manual, which this, as you know, is not. The front suspension has been changed slightly, mostly in the steering department, just materials and stuff like that, just to improve the steering response. There are helper springs at the back, which reduces the unsprung mass, so that improves the ride and handling all around. And then at the front, there is this 1.1 kilogram lighter front bumper. There are bigger scoops to allow more air to the radiators, and all of that combined is the sort of thing that makes a 911 GT3 magnificent.